Hey, what's going on everybody? Chris here and welcome back to the channel. So recently I've been noticing a massive algae outbreak on my 65 gallon behind me. You can kind of see some of it back here on the wall, and there's tons on the substrate. Hair algae growing like crazy. When I noticed this going on, I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Started doing some parameter testing and noticed that my nitrates are like off the charts crazy. I'm running like 80 ppm on nitrates and it's just way too high. So obviously I'm having a gigantic nitrate spike and I think I made a mistake. So I think what happened was recently I just switched this tank over to a sump filtration system versus hang-on back overflows. I had some marine lands on the back, bio wheels and all that crap hanging back there. When I went and changed the filtration, I put together the sump, got that up and running, and then just took the existing filtration off the back of the tank. I think that when I did that, I took out any, bacteria and all that stuff that was in those filters and just took it directly out of the system, and I think I basically caused the tank to go into a cycle. At least that's my theory on this, because I've tested my RO water, that's clean. I know I've been doing water changes and I have had nothing die in there, so I don't know what's going on to cause this nitrate spike, and that's the only thing I can think of was the sudden change in filtration caused a mini cycle or cause the tank to recycle itself. So as of right now, I think it's just kind of a waiting game to see what's going to happen. But let's go ahead and we'll take a look at this, and I'll kind of show you what I'm doing to try to combat this cycle that I've got going on in this excessive nitrates. So if you look down here in the bottom, you can see all this hair algae just sitting there, and it is absolutely terrible. It's kind of hard to see on the back because it is a black background, but you can just see it flowing there from the power head. It's just hair algae everywhere. It's growing on the rocks and it's just taking over. So there's another look at the hair algae there. So what am I doing to combat this problem? Obviously water changes are going to be number one. I'm doing some excessive wet skimming. I've got my skimmer cranked up to try to start pulling out some of those nutrients. But also if we go into the filtration room, if you can see in there, it's kind of hard to see, but I ended up getting some macroalgae from the local fish store to put in my sump, and I've got a grow light on that. I've also put a bag of Purigen filtration media in there as well, and hopefully that all this in combination with the water changes will help bring the nitrate level down. As of right now, that's pretty much all you can do, other than hopefully the tank doesn't crash with this cycle. So yeah, I think I literally forced my tank into a cycle just by changing the filtration system. Now I should have probably just left the bio wheel hang-on backs running while the sump broke in and started to get bacteria in it and build algae inside that, but I didn't. I got kind of gung-ho to get rid of those hang-on backs. They were ugly, unsightly. They had salt creep underneath them, behind them, and they were just a terrible filtration. I should have done this tank right the first time and built the sump when I first set it up. So I got about 2 years of filtration with those two hang-on backs. So with an existing system, those filters were already broken and everything was running, and I literally took all of that filtration out and put brand new stuff in that had nothing built up in it. No bacteria, no algae, nothing to break down the organic waste. So now I'm stuck with this giant nitrate problem, and who knows how long it's going to last. The only thing I can do right now is keep it under control with water changes and trying to keep the filtration. So hopefully the macroalgae in the sump will do a good job of starting to absorb some of those nitrates. I'm going to give it a couple weeks, see how it grows, and then see how the Purigen does. I basically put that in there as just a, an addition to the macroalgae, pretty much doing anything I can to try to reduce these nitrates. Now even with the water changes that I have been doing, it's still staying pretty high, so it might just take some time. I mean, we might see 3-4 weeks before the nitrates go down. So hopefully we don't see a crash of this tank, but I will definitely keep you posted as I go forward and try to reduce the nitrates in this tank. So there's an update for the 65 gallon. Unfortunately, it's terrible. Nobody wants high nitrates. It's like the reefer's bane, but unfortunately it's happening to me. And it happens to the best of us. So all we can do is keep moving forward, keep our proper husbandry, keep our proper maintenance schedule, and try to keep the nitrates under control and reduce them. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.